Okay. The Medrash in this week's PARSHA says that Kadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, "Lech v'yipara mimenu." Go ahead and pay back the Mitzrayim for what they did. And the other Medrashim put in a line over here. Hashem said, "I want you to bring the 10 makas on the Mitzrayim." Amar Loi, Moshe said to Hashem, "Heich avi olav esem makas." How will I bring upon them the 10 makas? Amar Loi, Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, "V'samat hazeh tikach b'yadecha." Take this mat in your hand, and that's how you'll do the 10 makas. And the Medrash is a little bit of a plea. Moshe asked, "How am I going to do it?" Hashem says, "Take the stick." What's the stick for? What was the stick all about? That's how he was able to bring upon the 10 makas. He needed the stick, the 10 makas. Amar Yehuda, Hamatel Mishkal Aboim Sahaya. By the way, you should know that today's magicians all have a wand. It comes from Moshe Rabbeinu. Matazeh.
Yeah, because it wasn't a stick. A stick's in shape. It was a matazeh. A small thing. Yeah, it's a baton.
That's where it comes from.
Also, Merlin, the guy from the times of Ivanhoe, Merlin, the thing that was in the ground where we listed. You know where it came from?
Also from
Yisroy had it in the ground, and Moshe, and no one can get it out. And Moshe Rabbeinu came. That's where it all came from. It's the same idea.
Yes, no, they say when the magicians
lifted up.
Right. The magicians say abracadabra. Where does that come from?
That's true.
You know where it comes from?
With this I create life.
Evra. Evra is a lesson of creation. Evra, I will create bidabra with my words. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. It's not. But so Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, take the stick in your hand, and then you could do the 10 makas. And the Medrash says, Amar Yehuda, Hamata Mishkal Aboim, Sohayu B'Shelach, San Pirinoin Hayu, Ve'esem Makas Chakukos Alav, Neitrikin Latzach Adash B'Achav. On the stick it was written, the 10 makas in a trikin, which means Latzach Adash B'Achav, Dam Tzardei Akinim, the simon that Rabbi Yehuda gives. Now we have to understand the Medrash. Why did Hashem tell Moshe to take the stick, and why did they have to write on the stick, Latzach Adash B'Achav? So the first thing I'd like to discuss is, we know Ma'aseh Shafim is also. Do Kishuf is also. Do funny things or make Nisim happen. Moshe Rabbeinu was doing certain things. The Mitzrayim are doing the same exact thing as Moshe Rabbeinu was doing. Moshe Rabbeinu
with their sticks.
Moshe Rabbeinu is allowed to do it. The Mitzrayim were called Ma'aseh Shafim, and that's an issue for us to do Ma'aseh Shafim. What's the difference? I'll phrase it this way. What's the difference between a Moifis from a Adam Gadol and a Kishur?
One is Kedusha, one is
what does it mean? One is Kedusha, one is Tumah. What does that mean? What does it mean? The same person, you're doing the same way. I go to Adam Gadol. There used to be certain alachash they would say, and certain things would happen. Or there's a moifsim. Some people make moifsim, and then that was fine. It's kosher. When you have a kishuf macher, a sorcerer doing something, it's awesome. What's the difference? Of course, there's a difference. So bring out the point. What is the difference? So to make it clear the difference, there's in halacha it's brought down. Interestingly enough,
one demonstrates the power of Hashem.
And one demonstrates the power
of the individual.
So, what does it mean? What are they doing?
I'm doing it.
Are they doing something differently? They're doing the same thing. They're both doing the same thing. But one has a kavanah l'shem shemayim, one has a kavanah l'shem tumah. What's happening?
No, one is a representative of Hashem.
One is a representative of Hashem. So that means they're both doing the same thing, but one's a shliach from Hashem, therefore he could do it. And one's not a shliach from Hashem, therefore he cannot do it.
That's from the Shindal that was created before the end of creation.
So that's the difference?
One is Tumah, one is...
Okay, so let's see.
Shindal is from Hashem too.
The Mechaber says in Hilchos Ma'onin the Mechashev,
powerless.
Eichel says V'anayim Aser. Eichel V'anayim, I'm not going to get into this, it's a whole different conversation. We have a different share. Eichel V'anayim is basically our magic today. It means you fool people. You do it. You fool people. Oichel Zoranayim basically means that
it's not
deceiving.
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand means you can move your hands quickly, or you can do something, and people think one thing is happening, means something else is happening. That's Oichel Zoranayim. The Mechaber says, also you're not allowed to do that. What's the heter for today's magicians? It's not for now. We're going to a different time. Ramesh does a whole tshuva about it. That's a different lunch to learn. We'll get into it. What's the heter of
card tricks,
and all these tricks? One thing is sure. Ramesh comes out if you say beforehand, what I'm doing now is just a trick of the hand, then it's okay. Because you make people know that I'm doing now is not. There's no real magic here. It's just I'm fooling you. Then it's okay. By day Sefer Yitzira, says the Mechaber Mutter. Oichel Zoranayim is Asur that you can't do. By day Sefer Yitzira, to go do something through Sefer Yitzira, which means certain SHMOS they used to say, Gedolim used to say, and they would create things. The Gemara says in Shabbos, certain Tanoim used to create every Erev Shabbos. They used to create a cow, Kegel Tilsa, through Sefer Yitzira, and they were shechted. That's what they eat on Shabbos. So we weren't Shabbos.
No, it's the argument that the brothers did that.
Right. There's the argument the brothers did. That's Shmotim. Right.
And you reported incorrectly.
Right. That was a shayla because the whole machlokes with the Shmotim. They were even gave him in a chai. But the reason why they weren't, some Achronim want to say is because it was created with Sefer Yitzira. There's no Sefer Menachai there. There's no question that someone that's created Sefer Yitzira, finish Chita or not. There's a whole Shayla. The Meshur brings down the Shayla. If a person was created through Sefer Yitzira, and you're not accounted for a minion, does he have it in of Yisrael or not? The Goyim. Correct? We've got a problem whether
it's have to do with cloning.
Not cloning.
Well, I'm saying, but does cloning become an issue?
Cloning is a different issue. Cloning is a different issue. Yeah,
it's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, cloning is a different issue. What is it? I mean, what is it? It's a person. It's not a person.
Or even an animal. You have to check.
An animal also. That's also a different question. Is it a kosher animal? Not a kosher animal. But that's what my cloning. I'm talking about someone created a yesh mi'ayin. Sefer Yitzira is a creation of a yesh mi'ayin, something from nothing. Right? The nights of the Goyim. If it was true or not, but it definitely could have happened. At times of Gemara, the Gemara brings that did happen. They created people from Sefer Yitzira. That the Mechaber says, by day Sefer Yitzira mutter. To create something through Sefer Yitzira, that is mutter. Achidas Zoranayim, magic, let's say, whatever it is, you're fooling people, that's asur. But Sefer Yitzira is mutter.
And who says it's mutter?
The Mechaber.
The bones from the bones.
Also, that's a shayla. That right. That's also a shayla. How is he able to do it over there? So I did say if it's serious about it. Now what does it mean? Says the Shach. I did say if it's serious about it. Last is lechatchila the SHMOS hakodesh. These things they do to Sefer Yitzira is through SHMOS hakodesh. Hashem yisparach nosabem koyach sheyichlu lifal al yedayim. Hashem gave us certain koyach. If you know how to do it, through the SHMOS hakodesh, you could create something through the SHMOS hakodesh, and it's mutter to do it. Through doing that, you're showing the godless of Hashem. There's a certain way of, let's call it nature, that the world runs a certain way, and then you have something which is above that. Creating something in Sefer Yitzira is as if we say going straight to the source. It's not in the regular nature, not in the regular TV, it's above that. And that shows that Hashem runs the world, because if you do something above the Teva, that shows that there's a higher, stronger power than we understand. She's asku behem bekedusha v'tahara, will the tzarich kedushas Hashem, or the tzarich mitzvah rabba. Today we don't find that. You have to do it with the right intentions for the right things. That's what the Shach says. Some Sefer Shuvas explains it, and he says, I'm not sure I understand 100%, but he says, when you create something with Sefer Yitzira, you're going straight to Hashem, and Hashem is creating now something with that Sefer Yitzira. When you go ahead and do it through Ma'aser Kishuf, what's happening is, you're going to the Malachim, who are everything has a malach who's in charge of it, and you're forcing them to do something against their will. That's the way the Chassam Sofer explains it. Whatever that means, I don't understand 100%. But Ma'aser Kishuv is basically not going to Hashem and Hashem is doing it for you.
So it's a Avodah Zarah.
It could be Avodah Zarah also, yeah. Kishuv is getting involved with the Malachim who are in charge of certain things and forcing them to do certain things that against their will. That's the way he explains Ma'aser Kishuv. So when Moshe Rabbeinu was going ahead after Mitzrayim, and he's going ahead to do all the Oisim and Moifsim, he's going ahead and he's going to do things that are changed Teva. Totally changed Teva. Dam, Tferdaya, these things are against the Teva. He says, go ahead and show Klai, so yeah, there's certain Klaichas in the world, that we go ahead and do it, and L'maylam in Teva. The main thing is Ma'aser Kishuv. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to make sure, but Moshe Rabbeinu asked Hashem and he says, Hashem told him, I want to bring the 10 makkos. So Moshe Rabbeinu says to Hashem, how will I bring upon them the 10 makkos? What was his question? He didn't know how we could do it. Hashem told him, just go ahead and do it. That's going to happen. Moshe Rabbeinu's question was, how am I going to bring it upon Klal Yisrael that they shouldn't, upon the Mitzrayim, that no one should think it's Ma'aser Kishuv. That's from Hashem. His main worry was, how am I going to go ahead and do it? And they're going to think it's Ma'aser Kishuv, but Kishuv is mutter. And it's a big difference between Ma'aser Kishuv and Ma'aser from Hashem. How am I going to convince people that it was done from Hashem? Right, Moshe was doing it from Hashem, let's Kiddush Hashem. How am I going to do it? Hashem says, take the stick. And what was the mile of the stick? So the stick had the Tzach Adash B'Achav. Now the Tzach Adash B'Achav, we'll get into that soon, stands for the Makis, and there's Remozim in the Tzach Adash B'Achav. And there's a Makis of Vichri that speaks about it, there's a lot of Hashem that speak about it, that let's see, what's the split up of the Tzach Adash B'Achav? It says the Tzach, the first 3, the second 3, and the last 4 Makis. So the Makis of Vichri says the first 3 were done through Aharon, the second 3 were done through Moshe without a matter, and the last 3 were done through Moshe with the stick, with the matter. Moshe, when he started the Makis, he had a stick, and on the stick was written Tzach Adash B'Achav. He wasn't just using a stick for no reason. He was showing that there's a plan here, and this is what's going to happen. It's all done through Hashem. That's why he was doing that. That's what the Medrash says.
He's a Medrash Rabbi.
He's a Medrash Rabbi. Medrash Rabbi, he says, Moshe asked, how am I going to bring it upon them? It says, take the stick. But the Medrash means to say is, take the stick and you're going to show it's all coming from Hashem. It's not happening by itself. And not happening through Kishuv. There's a reason why he was doing it. But I want to get into what it said on the stick. It said on the stick, Tzach Adash B'Achav. That's what it said on the stick, those 3 words. The PARSHA said those 3 words are just explaining the Makos. Dam, Tverdei, Akinim, Orav, Devashchim. In the Agada it says, Rabbi Yehuda Hayinosim Hem Simonim. Rabbi Yehuda says all the Makos, and Rabbi Yehuda Hayinosim Hem Simonim. Rabbi Yehuda gave a simmer to it. What was the simmer of Tzach Adash B'Achav? It doesn't say anything about the stick. It says, From this Medrash we see it was written on the stick, and that's the way I think everyone is used to know that it was written on the stick. But the Yehuda did not give the Simonim to explain to us what was written on the stick. The Medrash over here says you should know that there was a simon from Yehuda Tzach Adash B'Achav, and that was written on the stick. The Yehuda gave the Simonim for a different reason. And the Medrash brings down over here from the Radal. V'ayin piskei Tosis b'nocha simon Rish Lamadal Chakosm. Rabbi Yehuda hayu rogel litin simonim. Rabbi Yehuda used to be rogel, he was fluent. Usually he gave simonim for everything. Shla yita. A person shouldn't make a mistake. That means if Yehuda had a shita, you should give a simon to remember things. This way you remember what you learn. If you go with the simon, you remember what you learned.
This is his way of teaching.
This is his way of teaching.
Giving Numan.
If Yehuda was his way of teaching was rogel the simonim. He used to give simonim, and people should remember what to learn through these simonim.
Don't forget there was no books or anything.
There's no books, and we'll see that even after they have the Sfarim, a lot of times to remember something, you can do it through Simonim. The truth is, it's Gemara and Shabbos. Gemara and Shabbos dashes the Aleph Beis, Gimel Dalet, and the Gemara gets the Samach Ayin. The Gemara says Simin Oiseh. A Simin you should make Mekan Shoiseh Simonim L'Torah. You make Simonim for the Torah. Now, what does that mean? You make some money for the Torah to remember it. What does that mean? I once heard there's a joke. I once heard that Rabbi Yehuda, it says Rabbi Yehuda was Rosh Hashanah B'chol Mokum. Yehuda was the Rosh Hashanah. He spoke. He always spoke. Why Rabbi Yehuda? Because Rabbi Yehuda Yiraga Lichtensein, he was very mekatzer. So Rosh Hashanah, who's a good speaker, the one who's mekatzer. Rabbi Yehuda was Rosh Hashanah because he always gave Simonim. He did it short and sweet, and he gave it over. Concise, right. But I want to read to you Shlo. The Shlo is a very interesting thing. In the Gemara in Shabbos, that says that you should make some money for the Torah. It says the Shlo like this. He brings that Gemara in Shabbos. Simonim deraisa. Pirish hapega boyer darish samach ayin. I say simonim la Torah. Make simonim for the Torah. Ve'isi haba b'nei adam. Kishayesh simin b'Gemara. A lot of times you have the Gemara before Sugya. The Gemara quotes a certain thing, and it says simin. I have a lot of times in the Gemara here, I quote you one of them that the Shlosh speaks about. It says in the Gemara in the Lamadalid in Shabbos, simin. Gufia, zimra, tzifra, bechevla, demilza. That's the most simin. You have a lot of times. Simin, and then it says a simin. What's that simin? What is that about? So the Shlosh says, a lot of times you have in the Gemara a simin, and people don't learn the simin, they skip it. People skip the simin, they're learning the sugya, they learn the Gemara. When it says the simin, those words are simin, they skip it, they don't say it. It says the Shlosh, v'ein kayin oisai, v'chalila lasas kain, says the Shlosh. V'chalila lasas kain, to skip the simin, and to go straight to the Gemara. V'ani choyshev, tisaydes gedoyles muramazim b'simonim. And these simonim, the saydes gedoyles that are muramas, noisif ala pshutoi mashamoyra simin. Besides the simin itself, you have in the beginning of a sugya, it says simin, and the whole thing over there. Besides the fact that it helps you to remember PARSHA, to remember what the Gemara is saying, it's also, besides that, it helps you remember because there's more into that simin than just that you see in the Gemara. It says to come to the Gemara says simin, don't skip it. Don't skip it. Speak it out.
When it says simin, the words that follow the word simin are the simin.
Are the simin, right. Are the simin itself. So have a Gemara, simin. Begufia, zimra, tzifra, b'chavla, demilsa. Most people skip that and they go straight to the sugya. Says the Shlosh, no. Don't skip it. When you're learning a Gemara, say the simin. Speak it out. Even though you don't understand it. Then he goes to explain what the simin over there in the Gemara is. The Shlosh goes to explain that. It says don't skip it. If you look at the end of every parsha, it's also very interesting. At every parsha it says how many psukim there are, and it says simin to remember all the psukim. I'm not sure who wrote that, but obviously it was written by Adam Choshev. But at the end of every parsha it says the psukim. It's simin. People are makbid, they finish the parsha, they say the amount of psukim, simin, and they read the simin over there also. Because a simin is the reason why it's there, and even though we don't always understand it, I remember that as a kid, they said that every single parsha has the amount of psukim at the end of it, and the simin. There's one parsha that doesn't have it. There's one parsha, Pekudei. Parsha Pekudei doesn't have it. It happens to be today. I was looking through a chumash. Today I was looking through a chumash. A new chumash just came out recently. Someone's trying to publish it. I don't go into any details. And it has a simin on the parsha Pekudei. The amount of psukim and simin, I don't know where you got it from. If you look at the chumash, every chumash, there's a reason. I know there's a reason for it. I forgot the reason. I forgot the reason. Yeah.
Why in Pekudei there is not?
Yeah.
The reason it says for Simonim. It says at the end of the parsha in the case, it says the psukim, and it says how many tevis there are also. How many words there are in Parshas Miketz. I know there's a whole B'nai Yisachar about it. Why? What's trying in that amount? But it's not there for no reason. It's not there just stop.
Pekudei is about counting.
Yeah.
And it's the one parsha that they don't give you the count.
Yeah, correct. Maybe it has to do with that. I'm not sure why. It has over there now.
They don't even have Simon. The fuel.
Look at across the day, Chumash. You see that.
That's gone. The stone has it, and Archel explains it too. Yeah, stone has it.
Archel
explains it. In English.
Oh yeah?
In English.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very good.
Remember David Kleiner? I think his father was, I think it was a bris, or his father's yard side. Anyway, the PARSHA, I think it's PARSHA yesterday, it says the symbol was Mechoel.
Oh yeah?
That was his father's name. Exact number. The notes?
So I remember Kud doesn't have the simon at the end. And these simonim, they're written, there's something to them.
Yeah.
The Shlosh says every time it says simon, the Gemara, this type of simonim, there's always something to this simon. Shouldn't just ignore it. There's a meaning to it.
Harry, did you find anything? He's looking for the one that doesn't. I guess.
Says that Kude?
They have one for Sefer Shemot.
Yes, for the whole Sefer. Kude they don't have.
Did it say why?
Like the last PARSHA.
No, it says the last PARSHA of the Sefer says it. He has it. But Kude doesn't have it. I also remember hearing the reason.
I think Kude is the only one that says it.
Huh? I think the Kude is the only one.
That's along the line that Kude was supposed to be one PARSHA. Yeah, similar line.
But then Kude should have it. Then not Vayakel.
Vayakel. In other words, Kude was part of Vayakel.
So that's why they didn't put a
But then Kude should have it.
Does that ring a bell? Does that ring a bell?
But then Vayakel should. That's who they should.
Another one. I'll find it.
Yeah, I used to remember seeing that, but I remember I just saw recently a Chumash that it has in it on Pekudei.
So either somebody found it or invented it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it came from. That Chumash lying around there. I don't see it. If I find it, I'll show it to you. Puts it in Pekudei. So every PARSHA has in it.
Is it right over here at the end of the PARSHA?
Yeah.
So here's an article.
So
right, but it says Simon usually. Does it say Simon?
Then it says Simon.
Yeah.
No, we're looking at something else.
That's it, Simon. It always says Simon.
There's a number of verses that you said are usually recorded. Mnemonic at the end of the Sidra. Inexplicably, no such note appears at the end of Kude in most editions. The edition of the Chumash printed with the Malbim's commentary of the mnemonic Atzah and the Simon, as a Simon, there's 92 verses, numerically corresponding to the word Eitzeh.
So the
Malbim does have it?
This is the Chumash with the Malbim's commentary has it.
Yes, it says the Malbim Chumash.
He says otherwise it's usually...
Have the Malbim Chumash? Right, the blue one. The Malbim Chumash right behind the blue one.
Excuse me, so I don't understand. So what else is supposed to represent? The number of psukim and what else?
First is the psukim, and the simon, when you add up those words, those letters in the simon, equals the amount of psukim in the parsha. Simon, every parsha is a different simon.
This one has three.
Yeah, so both, you add each one up separately, it'll be the amount of words, amount of psukim in the parsha.
I would never remember those.
So the Shlosh is saying, even though a lot of times it's simonim, it doesn't help you remember it, right? So there's a simon over there. It's easier to remember the amount of psukim than to remember the simon, but there's something in the simon. Anytime it says a simon, there's something in the simonim.
There's a thing at the end of davening, right, where they have verses to remember your name.
Right.
When you come before the court on high, you'll be so stunned you won't remember. You're supposed to remember the verse?
Your name
you can't remember your name, you're supposed to. I always figured there must be an insight in the verse. That it's not just a mnemonic. Because it's actually, your name is easier to remember than the verse.
Right.
Does that make sense?
There's something in the simon. Every time there's simon, there's something in the simon. Yeah. And that's what the Shlosh is saying. Even though you have, a lot of times in Gemara, simon, we don't understand the simon. Mama doesn't have it there either?
This edition doesn't have it.
I never saw in PARSHA B'Kudei simon. The amount of psukim and the simon. There's one chumash going around that has it. They put it in. So that's what the Rabbi Yehuda unites in him simonim. Rabbi Yehuda gave simonim tzachat ashbarachav. And this simon, there's a reason for the simon. Every simon has a reason for it. Usually it's just to remember an easier way of remembering it. Yeah, it's the easy way.
What does it date back to, the tradition?
Of what?
I mean, the simon for the Chumash. Where does it come?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how far back. I'm not sure who made it even. Who wrote it? Yeah. The ones in the Gemara are written. I'm not sure. Even the ones in the Gemara. The Simon of the Gemara, I'm not sure who wrote it. I don't think it was written by Tanam and Amoraim. It wasn't. It was
Came later.
Yeah. I'm not sure who did it, but when you learn the Gemara and you come to such a thing as Simon, you should speak it out. Say the Simon. You may not understand it. Say Simon, this, and then start the Gemara.
Right.
So that might get the shurim. You look at the famous shurim. Some of them will just skip it. Say the next one, skip it. Some of them will definitely speak it out.
Right.
It should be spoken out. The simon should be spoken out. That's what the Shloh says. It shouldn't be ignored whether you understand it or not. It should be spoken out. In addition, there's a sefer from Zalman Volozhin. Zalman Volozhin has a Chaim Volozhin, his brother, the Talmud of the Gra, and he has a sefer and he goes through a lot of simonim. There's one famous one that he gives is Goidu. Gimel Vav Dalet Vav. It's based on a pasuk in Daniel. And he says, it's hard to remember when the word says there's a log and there's a kav and there's a saw. What's the measurements? It's hard to remember the measurements. So I remember when we were cheder, the Rabbi used to tell us Goidu. And Goidu means there's Vav. That means there's 6 bayim to a log. Right? That's what it is. 6 bayim to a log. The dvav, the dalet is a full log to a kav, right? And then after a kav comes a saw, right? The six kav to a saw, and then the gimel is to an ephah. There's 3 saw to an ephah. So you know ephah saw. What do you say again? Kav log beya. Right? You have to know which is bigger. Right? You have to know on your own. but once you know them, the way to remember how much is in each is through goidu. That was the simon. He gives it a simon, goidu. There's also a say simon matera goidu, and every time you come to a hard Gemara, you want to know exactly what the measurements are. So usually, a beya you remember the smaller size. A beya to look 6 because it's going to the vav at the end. The dalet is a log to a kav. That's the way of remembering. And he goes also the whole thing over there how we have to remember the measurements. And I say simon on the Torah. Make a simon. There's an Indian to make simon on the Torah. The Chidah I've got who brings it from a sefer that the whole sefer is based on simon on the Torah. A way of remembering. I mean, it also brings down. They said I don't remember anymore of the simon for the ksafim in the Torah, the dinner and the pundian. I don't remember exactly what the thing was, but he made a say simon on the Torah. So when Yehuda went ahead and he said that Tzachadash Bachav, he said that say simon on the Torah and make a simon to the Makkis, there was a reason for the Tzachadash Bachav, and there was a simon. A simon is important to remember the simon, and that's what we say. That's what we say the Tzachadash Bachav. And I finished one more pshat, very interesting pshat. I remember where I saw one of the Shrenim, I saw it. That there's a machlokes. It says the Makkeh Mitzrayim Bivchareim. That's what we say. It says a pasuk in Tehillim. The Makkeh Mitzrayim Bivchareim. And also another thing we find interesting, that all the Makkahs, it's called Dam Tzvadei, Kidim Orav. The last Makkah is called Makkahs B'chayris. It should be called B'chayris. Why is it called Makkahs B'chayris? It should be called Makkahs Dam, Makkahs Tzvadei. No. Everything is called Dam Tzvadei. The last Makkah is called Makkahs B'chayris. So there's a medrash that says, I think Chayes brings it down somewhere, that when it came to Makkahs B'chayris, and they still weren't sending the Yidden and Mitzrayim, the B'chayrim came to the parents with kindness. They had to revolt. Send them out.
Yeah.
If not, we're going to die.
Shabbos Gadol.
Yeah. So what happened was, the B'chayrim themselves went ahead and started beating their parents. So it was a revolt from the B'chayrim against the rest of the Mitzrayim to send out the Yidden, because otherwise they're going to get killed. So that's why it's called Makkahs B'chayris. The Makkah that came through the B'chayrim, besides the fact that the B'chayrim got killed, they also killed other people. And so that's pshat on the Makkah Mitzrayim B'chayreim. Not that they killed the Bechorim. The Bechorim themselves killed the Makei Mitzrayim.
There's a civil war.
There's a civil war. There's a civil war. That is what the Medrash brings down. The Torah brings down also. But the Yehuda held that way. Yehuda held no such thing. If you look at Yehuda, is that Tzach Hadash Ba'achav. It stamps for the Akidim Arav. The last thing is Barad Arba Choshech B'Choyris. It doesn't say Makas B'Choyris. It should say Ba'acham B'V. There's a Mem Beis at the end, Makas B'Choyris. He doesn't say Makas B'Choyris. It says B'Choyris. Why does it say B'Choyris? He says there was no Makkah that the B'Choyim and Mitzrayim went ahead and they revolted. It's not considered one of the Makkahs. If there wasn't a revolt, it doesn't make a difference. There wasn't one part of the Makkah. The Makkah where Hashem killed the B'Chorim and that's it. The Makkah to B'Chorim, that's one shita. The Yehuda not the way. So if you look in the Haggadah, it says the Makkahs. If Yehuda is B'Smarim Tzachadash B'Achav. The Yehuda comes to argue. Because if you look in the Makkahs in the Haggadah, it says the last one Makkahs B'Chorim. Yehuda says no. Let's say Makkah's B'Choris. It's B'Choris. The Tzach Hadash B'Achav. I'm coming to argue that it was only a Makkah that they killed the B'Choris, not the B'Choris killed the Mitzrayim. That's what Pshat I heard. I don't know where I saw it. I've seen it. I don't know where I saw it. A very Shemot Pshat and why Yehuda said Tzach Hadash B'Achav. But getting back to the original thing, Hayos B'Hem Simonim is a very important thing to remember. It's a good thing, and I said this once to a doctor. He told me that in the medical field, Simonim is used constantly to remember things. Correct? In the medical field, Simonim are used constantly to remember things. Tell you the same thing. You should remember. People should make Simonim to remember things, whether it's PARSHA, Satira, whether it's things that happen, whether it's halachas. If you make a simon, then you remember it. If you don't make simonim, things are forgotten. There's so much information to remember. If you don't make a simon, you'll forget. It's a thing in itself. I don't know if we call it a mitzvah, but the Gemara says, in order to remember your Torah, say simonim on Torah.
We do it with Kiddush.
Yachnahaz. Yeah, you find a lot in the Gemara. Yachnahaz is a way of remembering. You go ask them, how Yachnahaz? You remember how do we paskin? It's hard to remember.
Not just acronyms, you even have phrases like real words.
Right.
Phrases with words too.
They have phrases, a way of remembering things. If you look at the Shir Shal Yom in the Masechta Sukkah, Ampuhi, Bohambi, there's also, in the Masechta Sukkah, you have the Shir Shal Yom, how it went. The Machlokes in the Tanakh, how it went. So it's Ampuhi, Bohambi, there's different, and these are ways of remembering it, the Shir Shal Yom.
For Havdalah, if you do it by heart, what comes first? The summon, just follow your mouth. Summon. Sometimes you do it by heart, you forget.
Then your eyes, Eish, is your eyes.
But you follow your mouth.
Yeah, but it's always good to make tomorrow. A lot of times you forget. A lot of times you forget that it comes Shas Maisa, and there's no way of remembering it. You make a simon is always a good thing to have. And also, we should read the simonim in the Gemara. When it says simon in the Gemara, it should be read.